Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and if you're new here, hello. My name is Ashley. I run things here at ohcrowgal, and today starts a new journey, a new series on my channel that I'm super excited about. I'm a little nervous. I'm like this much nervous and this much excited, so at least the excitement outweighs the anxiety. But this is Keto Chronicles. This is gonna be a new series on my channel. It's going to document me following the keto diet for 60 days. So essentially this first video is going to be a lot of background information. What is keto? My story about my experience with trying keto before, why I like it, and why I'm doing it again, why I'm doing it now. So my plan is for this to be one video, but if I notice the time is getting a little long, then I'm gonna split it into two. But before we jump in, I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So the last time that I did the keto diet, that I followed the keto diet, I posted like all my updates and anything on my Instagram stories. It was before I had a YouTube channel, and I did that to really hold myself accountable, because I felt like if people know what I'm doing and people are watching, and I know that people are watching, then I have to do it. Like that's just me. That's just how I operate. It's the same with going to the gym. The only time I've been successful with going to the gym on a regular schedule was when I had a personal trainer, because I knew somebody was waiting for me to show up. And so that's kind of how it was when I was documenting everything on my Insta stories. And that was such a great experience for me. I kind of like broke out of my shell in terms of always like needing to look perfect on film or like on Instagram or whatever. I would like post stories when I had just woken up and just eaten breakfast, no makeup, gross hair, like everything. It really helped my confidence, and it actually like kickstarted my want to start a YouTube channel. So obviously this time I'm not really going to be doing a ton of updates on Instagram. Everything will mainly be here on YouTube. So I do want to, before we jump into kind of this intro video, I do want to give a couple disclaimers before we get started. This is the only video where I'm going to be giving verbal, like auditory disclaimers, because I don't want to have to do that every single video. So in all of my other videos in the series, these disclaimers will be down in the description box, so they will still be there, but I'm not going to say this every single video. So first being that I am not a doctor, I'm not a keto expert. Literally everything I know about keto, I learned by doing research on my own, reading, watching YouTube videos, talking to people, but I'm not an expert. I might say things that are wrong. I might say things that you know are not correct about the keto diet, in which you can totally let me know in the comments in a nice way that I misspoke or that I'm not giving proper information. That's completely fine. So number one, I'm no expert. Number two, if keto sounds like something you're interested in, always check with your doctor. You know, always make sure that it's a healthy choice for you and your body type. So speaking of body type, everyone's body is different. So everything plays a role in that. Your height, your weight, your genetics, how you carry your weight. Like I carry most of my weight in my stomach. I have pretty thin arms, pretty thin legs, but everything is in my tummy. But when I say everything is in, I mean like when I gain and lose weight, it pretty much comes from my stomach and from my face. So I'm going to be giving numbers out this time around, which was something I didn't do when I was documenting this on Instagram. I said how many like pounds I was losing, but I didn't say like my starting weight, my end weight, and all of that stuff. So that's something different that I'm going to do this time around, which I feel completely comfortable doing. But I just don't want people to think like, well, I weigh this much, and so I must be like, I must need to lose weight, or I don't weigh that much, and so I must be under, I don't know. I just don't want people getting in their heads they need to like look or weigh a certain, you know, that they need to see a certain number on the scale. For me, I just correlate. I don't really care about the number. For me, it's more how I feel when I am that number, if that makes sense. So for me, it's kind of all about feeling, but I kind of like to know, in terms of like an actual documentation of the number on the scale, what I weigh. So I guess those are kind of just my three things. I'm not a doctor. check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a keto expert. Check with your doctor if you want to do keto. And thirdly, everyone's body is different. So I just kind of feel like when I say like my weight and my height or something, I can just see people in the comments being like, you need to lose more weight than that, or that's your goal weight, then you're gonna be too skinny. I don't know, I just feel like there's gonna be like conflicting things. So just remember, everyone's body is different. Everyone gains and loses weight differently. I just think that's really important to like keep up here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing I'm gonna start with, I also have notes here. So if you see me glancing down, that's what I'm looking at. The first thing I'm gonna start with is, what is keto? So keto is essentially a low carb, adequate protein, high fat diet. So the thought is that because you're like essentially eating almost no carbs, your body isn't trying to burn the carbs before it burns the fat. Your body's running on fat, so it ends up burning fat at a faster rate and more of it, because it's not having to burn through all the carbs first. And so essentially it has easier access to that fat to burn, which completely makes sense to me. If someone were to just say like, well, it's a low carb diet so you lose weight, I'd be like, well, yeah, but what? Why is it high fat? But it completely makes sense as to why you're, you know, consuming so much fat. It's because you want to burn the fat. So that's like my very layman's description of, what keto is. Obviously, y'all can Google it if you want to get a little more in depth than that, but it's essentially a high fat, low carb, almost no carb diet. So the second thing I want to get into is why I like keto. Because I really enjoy this diet. The only other time I've ever lost weight on a diet was right before I got married, which was coming up on, oh my God, 8 years ago. That's a long time ago. A couple months before I got married, I couldn't fit into my dress. I couldn't zip it up all the way. Obviously, panic set in. I counted every single calorie that went into my mouth, and I counted every single calorie that I burned when I worked out. And it worked. It completely worked. I fit into my dress. I felt great, but it was a nightmare. I hated doing that. So one thing that I really like about keto is that initially I like to have all my numbers in MyFitnessPal, but once you kind of get in the groove, like, you know how much to eat of what, and you know what you can eat and what you can't eat, and you don't have to continually be tracking it. So last time when we did keto for 30 days, we tracked for about half of the time, for about 2 weeks. And then the other 2 weeks, we just kind of like already knew what we were doing, so we didn't need to. We still saw results. So that's kind of the first thing that I like. The second thing that I like is that I find it to be really easy. I feel like it's easy when I go out to eat. I feel like it's easy to meal prep. I just find that it's an easy diet to follow, especially in the beginning when you're, you know, it's almost like a game. Like you're trying to hit your fat, and you're trying to hit your protein, and you're trying to hit your, you know, carb. I mean, you're not trying to hit your carbs. I guess you're trying to stay under your carb limit. I'll also link below the keto calculator that we use that tells you exactly, all of your macros, like your numbers for everything. So that's the other thing that I like, is that I just find that it's easy. Part of it being easy for me is the fact that I don't feel deprived. I don't like feeling like I can't eat something, or I'm on this fast and I'm only eating fruits and vegetables, or I'm drinking smoothies all the time, or I don't like having that feeling of deprivation, like I can't have yummy foods when I'm on a diet. And I think because keto is a high fat diet, I can still have cheese, I can still have bacon, I can still have various meats. Like there's a lot of things that were like, if someone were to say to you, hey, like, are you on a diet? And you were to say yes, they would assume that you can't have cheese, you can't have bacon, you can't have something called a fat bomb. So that's kind of something that I like, is that when I'm on it, once I've passed like the keto flu, which is kind of like, it's different for everyone, but it usually happens like 5 days after you start keto, where now you're not eating any of that processed food anymore, you're not eating the carbs, and so it's like your body's like finally understanding like, okay, like we're not eating that stuff anymore, now I have to get used to this, and you kind of feel like shit. But once you get over that, you don't have that craving for anything processed, and I feel like it's because, yeah, your body's used to this new way of eating, but also because you get to have, like I said, cheese and bacon is like the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, but you get to eat fatty foods. I mean, it's kind of what keto is. Of course, you have to balance it out with greens and healthy fats, but you know, when you can have like jalapeno poppers on a diet, I'm here for it. Another reason I enjoy keto is because it's just a good jumpstart. It's such a good way to kick processed foods, whether you are trying to kick like sugar or you're trying to kick like bread, chips, carbs, you know, kind of like those type of carby foods that we think of. It's just a really good way to initialize that, and I think that's why we were also successful once our 30 days of keto was over, was because we transitioned to low carb. And you guys, I'm not even joking you, like when you do this diet, you don't want that stuff anymore. It's not even like, oh, my diet's over, now I want to binge eat all this candy, or I want to eat these cookies, or I want the chips and salsa, or whatever. Your body doesn't want that food. Like, I'm telling you, it completely rejects the idea of even putting that food into your mouth. So that's another reason that I like it, is because it's such a good jump start. It's easy to transition away from keto and into more of a low carb lifestyle after that. My personal opinion is that keto is not a healthy diet to be on for the rest of your life. But it is a good initial platform to start eating healthier and to cut those types of foods out of your diet. All right, and then the last reason why I enjoy keto is because it works. It works, and when you do something that works and you know that you can be successful, you're more likely to want to do it again, which I think is why I'm so gung-ho. I'm not like, oh, first of the year, starting that diet again. Like, I'm ready. I am ready to jump into it because I know that it works. I know that I've lost weight on it, and I know that I feel better when I'm on it, and that's why, like, I just can't wait. I cannot wait. When you think about the diets that you've tried before and you haven't had the results that you wanted, of course you don't want to do them again. But I know that this works for me, and that's why I'm so pumped to just like get this into gear. So next up, we're going to talk about my experience doing keto last time. So the last time I did keto, I did it with my husband, I did it with Sternan, and we did it for 30 days. And this was I believe we did it in May. We did it for a month. We were just feeling, honestly, we were kind of just feeling blah, and we both kind of needed a kick in the pants to just start eating better. I've mentioned this multiple times. We eat really good Monday through Friday, but when the weekend rolls around, we eat like shit. Like, we eat, you know, Chick-fil-A, or we go out to eat, or we get Starbucks breakfast in the morning, which like isn't the worst stuff in the world, but when you're doing that every single weekend, it catches up to you. And so that's why we initially wanted to start it. I had never heard of keto in my life until I started following Raw Beauty Christy here on YouTube. She is a beauty YouTuber, and she lost a bunch of weight on keto. And I literally, like, when she said the word keto, I had no idea what she was talking about. I had never even heard the word. So I watched a couple of her videos, which I'll link below, and then kind of started doing my own research, and we decided to jump in. So that time that we did keto, a couple of, like, I just want to talk about a couple of the thoughts that I had when we initially first did it. One was like, I couldn't believe like what you couldn't eat on it, because when my like newbie to a diet, that is like such bad grammar, brain thinks of like carbs, I think of probably what a lot of people think of, which is cookies and crackers and chips and granola bars and bread. I don't think of fruit or certain vegetables. Like, you're not really supposed to have carrots on keto because they're a higher carb vegetable. Brussels sprouts, like you can have, but you should only have like once in a while because they're higher carb. I never thought, and this is kind of stupid because it's like, I mean, they're sugary, but I never thought of like sugary sauces, like an orange sauce for chicken or like some like teriyaki or something like that. I just never thought of those things as being like higher carb. So again, the last time we did keto, I just learned a lot. I learned a lot about what it means to actually eat low carb, and what it means to not eat processed food. I also could not believe how easy it was after we got over the 2-week mark. Once we hit the 2-week mark, it's like I had said previously, my body did not want anything. We could go out to eat. We would go to Cheesecake Factory. We would go to like Panera. We would go to all these places, and I would just ask for the nutrition facts, and we would pick things that were like keto appropriate. And I didn't want the other stuff. And for me, that's the biggest problem is like, normally if it's in my kit, if I buy something like that I know I shouldn't be really eating and it's in my kitchen, I want to binge on it. It's one of the reasons I don't bake. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I don't bake because I will eat the entire loaf of banana bread, or I will eat like a dozen cookies. I have zero self-control. And once we hit that 2-week hump, when we were doing keto, I didn't even think about that stuff anymore. I didn't want it. And it was just honestly really cool to see that your body could do something like that and send those kinds of signals to your brain. So just getting into like numbers wise, the first time that we did it, I lost 18 pounds. So that was 18 pounds in about, I think it was like 37 or 38 days. I was still losing weight kind of the week and a half after we stopped keto. And I was extremely happy with that. I felt like I've never felt before. Like I hadn't felt that way in a long time. I should say like I've never felt before, but I have not felt that way in a long time. I got down to the weight that I was at, which I will talk again about like specific numbers, like how much I weigh and all that jazz in my first like keto update video. But I got down to the weight that I was at when I was nursing Daisy. When I was breastfeeding her, that was like the lowest weight I had been in a very, very, like maybe 10 years, a very long time. So again, when you know something is successful and you can see not just the number on the scale, because for me, it's more about how I feel. When you feel better and you know that your clothes are fitting better, and you have more energy, to know that you can be successful is a huge piece of the puzzle. One more thing about the last time that we did keto, I had the keto flu for like a day and it was not that bad. Some people have it for like multiple days and they get it like almost immediately as they, like the first couple days that they start keto. I had it for a day and it was like, I just felt it's kind of like I felt like I had a cold. I felt really sluggish. I was lazy. My head hurt. I had it for about a day and a half, and then it went away. All right, so that was kind of random. I kind of just like threw that in there, but I feel like that's important to note. Because a lot of people talk about like the keto flu and like, oh my God. And I didn't feel like it was that bad. Again, everyone's body is different. So it makes sense that other people, like they get the keto flu and it's like bad. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is why now? Why are we doing keto now? Because it doesn't just have to do with the fact that a new year is rolling around and it's time for resolutions and it's always the time when people want to lose weight. It's more that we don't feel good. We both feel, Sternan and I both feel like not our best selves. We don't feel as energetic as we could be. We both put on weight. I've put on almost half of the weight that I lost when we did do keto, and it kind of all started, I remember we went to LA in September and I was like, oh, I was like feeling myself. I felt so good when I was at that weight, and I had maintained, so I was still at the weight that I was when I had stopped keto. Then we went on vacation. end of September, beginning of October, we went to Hawaii and we ate what we wanted to eat. And ever since then, we just have not been able to get back on the bandwagon. So it's been a few months of just feeling lethargic and kind of gross, and I don't feel like I'm being the best mom that I can be. I don't feel like I'm being the best spouse that I can be. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that like I'm not eating the best that I can be eating. So that's kind of why we are doing it now. And it's kind of like, what better way to kick off 2019? You know, that's kind of where the new year comes in, is like, let's just like, come on, like, let's go. January 1st, there's no better time. So this time around, we are doing it for 60 days. There are two days in particular where we are going to be like breaking from our keto diet. One day we're going to Disneyland for Daisy's birthday, and then the other day in February we are going to a Laker game up in LA. And so both of those days we've already decided we're not going to go ham. We're not going to be like eating all the crap in the world, but we're not going to be sticking to keto. So the next two things I'm going to touch on is what I'm going to do differently this time around doing keto, and then also just logistically how my videos are going to work. So what I want to do differently this time around is I need to drink more water. I was really good initially about the first 2 weeks when we were doing it, of drinking water, and then I just fell off. I hate water. I don't like water. I pretty much exclusively drink sparkling water, which is great, but I feel like that's hard to drink in like massive quantities. So my goal this time is to drink a lot more water. Another goal that I have is to eat more greens. That was a complete fail. We didn't even do that initially. We kind of just like never did it. We need to eat more spinach, kale, just good green leafy vegetables. That's another goal that I have. And then I put on my notes more exercise, but it should just say exercise, because I will say that I lost those 18 pounds doing absolutely zero exercise. Zero. Like, not even like, let's take Daisy for a walk, you know, on her bike, or like, let me put her in the stroller and go for like a light jog. Zero exercise. That was strictly just changing my diet. So this time around, I don't want to get crazy. I'm not gonna do like a gym routine. I'm not gonna say like, oh, 3 days a week I'm gonna go to the gym. No, because when I do that, it just sets me up for failure, to be honest. So if I want to go to the gym, I'm gonna go to the gym. If I want to just take Daisy on a walk, I'm gonna take her on a walk. My goal is to, initially I'm gonna start out with 2 days a week where I want to do something active. And then boost it as the weeks go on, because like I said, this time around, we are gonna be doing it for 60 days. All right, so the last part, oh my gosh, this video is like, I don't think it's gonna be too long. Well, it might, someone's gonna put down like, yeah, this video is like way too long. It might be too long for some of you, but I thought I was definitely gonna have to like split it into multiple videos. So basically how my videos will work. So my Keto Chronicle videos will go up once every week. I'm gonna do weigh-ins, so you guys will know, you know, what I weigh each week. So the first one, obviously I will give like my starting weight, what I weigh now, and then what I weigh at the end of the week. So these videos are gonna probably, I don't know, I haven't decided if I want to do them in real time, like if I want to do it on a Sunday and then upload on a Sunday. I'll figure that out later. But so you guys will kind of know like where my numbers are in terms of my weight, and then just like updates, like how I'm feeling. Did I hit all of my my numbers? I'm not gonna say like, did I stick with keto, because like that's a non-negotiable. Like, we are freaking doing this. But you know, part of keto is that you hit your protein and your fat. You need to hit those numbers. And so, you know, did I hit all of my numbers? Am I feeling more energized? Am I going through keto flu? Am I feeling gross? Did I have like a really bad craving this day or that day? What did I eat? Obviously you guys will, I'm still gonna be posting my grocery hauls, so you'll kind of see it there, but I think I'm also gonna throw in those update videos, just very brief kind of like recipe reviews, because when you're on keto, you really have to do your research and find recipes that fit in with the diet. And so I think I'll be doing kind of like mini recipe reviews in those videos as well. And yeah, that's about the gist of it. Again, like I said, I'm just really excited. I feel really good. This is kind of like my version of a resolutions video because I have other resolutions like up here, but this is kind of like the biggest one. This is kind of the one that I just want to like hit the ground running. I want to jumpstart 2019. I want to go into it feeling great. And I know that the more energy that I have, the even more passionate I will be about my YouTube channel, and the more determined I will be to get up content, and not just content, but really good content for you guys. So I hope you guys will stick around. I'm hoping that this will be interesting to you. And if not, I'm still gonna have 2 other videos go up during the week. So there will be a little something for everybody. I know it may sound, I don't wanna say silly, but it may sound kind of, I guess, funny, but recording my progress via video and recording, knowing that it's out there and that somebody could potentially watch it, it's huge when it comes to accountability for me. I don't even care if no one watches these videos, just to know that they're up and they're posted, and that I'm holding myself accountable because in a sense you guys are kind of holding me accountable, if that makes sense. It's gonna be good. It's going to be something that is really going to it's gonna cross my mind, you know, when I especially in the beginning where that I feel like with keto that first week is really rough. So to know that I'm like documenting it and that people might be out there watching it, it's really gonna like hold me to it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you keep an eye out. If you do like this video, or you are really looking forward to the keto videos I'm putting out in the near future, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell so that you're made aware every time a video goes live. And yeah, I will go ahead and see you guys in my next one. Bye, friends.